Okay, so now we finished our first square, so we're going to work on the second part, which is another square going around our square. So we've finished all of this, and now we're going to be working on the portions here that are turquoise. But for mine that I'm going to be working on, I'm actually going to switch that border color because I want to make the contrast between the squares a little better. So I'm actually going to use my Red Heart Amethyst, which is the darker purple, for that. And we are going to be working in the back loops only for this round, which is round 22. And we're going to start with a standing double crochet, and then another, so it's 2 double crochet in the chain space that's in a corner. So you have a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. You're going to do a standing double crochet in the back loop of that chain there, not in the space. So we want 1, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 8 single crochet, back loop only. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you see we end on this triple treble here. And then we're going to chain 5. And then we're going to take this cluster here and we're going to pull it to the back like that. Let's see. What I want to do is kind of put it over and like that. Just make sure it's to the back like that. And then we're going to put a single crochet right in the top of that. Alright, so it'll look like that. And then we're going to chain 5 again. And then we're going to skip over all of these single crochet, and then we're going to put a double crochet in this triple treble and in the next 7. So that's going to be 8 total double crochet on this side. And then we're back to the chain 1, and remember we're doing our 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the chain, not in the space. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to keep seeing our black throughout the whole thing. It gives it our nice edge. So go ahead and do that on all 4 sides, and I'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. I've ended my last 7 double crochet, which is actually 8 altogether, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch into my first double crochet, and then I'm going to finish that off. Alright, and that is the end of round 22, and let's see, altogether you should have 20 double crochet on each side, which is 8 here, 8 here, and then there's 2 from each corner. So that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Plus 4 of these lovely chain 2 corners. And then we can move on to our round 23, which is a standalone round. And in here I used color E. And color E is the leaf color that I used. And I'm going to carry on with the same leaf color, which for me is Spring Green by Red Heart. And let's see, so we're going to slip stitch in the back loop of the first skipped single crochet of round 21 on any side. Okay, so let's break it down. So pick a side. I'm picking this side. So we're going to find our first skipped single crochet, and we're going to put a slip stitch in that. Now, okay, this is going to be the single crochet that we're working into. So let me show you on here what we're doing. So if you see this, all of these little leafy bits, they kind of all go right into the center here. So from the back of my work you can see that I've gone into that single crochet that's on top. And that's what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to be doing all of this work into this single crochet that's right here on top. And right now it looks a jumbly mess, but like I showed you here, we're going to be kind of covering all that up with black. So don't freak out. I mean, feel free to freak out if it makes you happy, but you don't need to. Okay, so 3 double treble cluster. So we're going to do 3 double trebles that are unfinished, and then we'll finish them. So yarn over 3 times, insert it into that single crochet there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're not finishing that off. We're going to do that 2 more times before we finish it off. So yarn over 3 more times, yarn over 3 more times, and then yarn over and pull through all of your loops there. Now we chain 2, and we're going to do this again. So we want to do this 4 times total, and then we're going to do another one. So basically you want 5 of those clusters in there. So let me make sure that, see, in here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 altogether with a chain 2 in between. Oops, I did not yarn over 3 times there. Bad me. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Alright, so now we have 1, 2, 3. My chain 2. I need 1 more chain 2, and then my final 3 double treble cluster. And then we are going to slip stitch in the back loop of the last skip stitch of this round here, which I believe is round 21. So just these skip single crochets here, you're going to just put a slip stitch in that very last one. And that just kind of connects it all. And then you're going to finish it off, and it's going to look like this. And you're going to do that to all 4 sides. So I will see you when you're done with all of your 4. Okay, so I have done my 4 sides with my 5 double treble clusters, and each one is separated with a chain 2. So if you want to count them, go ahead. You're going to have 4 groups of these. There's 5 of these clusters in each group, and that means there's 4 of these chain 2 spaces, and each of these are slipped into the first and the last single crochet. And then we can move on to round 24, which I will do in a bit. Okie doke. So now we are going to begin round 24. We're going to use our main color. For me, it's black. And we're going to start with a standing single crochet in the back loop only, which we'll be working in the back loop only of this round, of the first double crochet of any side. So pick a side, find your very first double crochet. For me, it is right here. So I'm going to put a standing single crochet there in the back loop. Now I'm going to single crochet in the next 2, and I put a treble in the front loop of round 21, which is below the next stitch. So here's my next stitch. So I want to put a treble in that one. So it's the front loop below the next stitch. And we're going to skip the next stitch, which is this one here, and we're going to single crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This little fuzz is going to drive me crazy. Okay, now we're going to put a slip stitch in both of the loops of the first skip stitch. So here's this first skip stitch, which already has a slip stitch in it from our previous round. So we're going to put a slip stitch through both the front and the back. This slip was in the back only, so we're doing through both. So there's our slip there. And now we're going to put a double treble around the top two treble cluster of round 21. So this is the 2 treble cluster right here. So we're going to put a double treble around that. So yarn over 3 times, and we're going to go around both of these posts, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Okay, so now we're going to put a front post single crochet around 3 double treble cluster, which is here. So we're going to put a front post single crochet around that. And we're going to put a single crochet in that chain 2 space. And then we're going to put a double treble around this same 2 posts here that we did. So it's kind of like the tip of that cluster. Alright. And then we're going to put a single crochet into that same chain 2 space. So this chain 2 space is going to have a single crochet, the double treble, and another single crochet. And then you're going to put a front post single crochet around that cluster there, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to single crochet into that chain 2 space, a double treble into the same cluster there, and another single crochet in that space. Front post single crochet around that 3 double treble cluster, and a single crochet in the next chain space, double treble around this cluster here, front post single crochet, double treble, and a single crochet again, and a front post single crochet around here. And then we're going to do another double treble in the same spot here. And we're going to put a slip stitch in both of these loops here. Just like that. So we've pretty much outlined our little green leaves. Yay, isn't that pretty? And now we're going to single crochet in the back loops of our next 6 stitches. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to put a treble in the front loop of round 21, which is below the next stitch. So here's our next stitch. So here's the front loop that is found below it. Put a treble in there, if I can grab it. And we're going to skip that next stitch. And we're going to single crochet in the last 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to put a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in that chain 2 space. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And we're going to just keep repeating that around. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, and then I'm going to finish off. Yay! So that is the end of round 24. And if you want to know what your stitch count is, okay, you will have 43 stitches per side plus 4 chain 1 spaces at your corners. Now when you're counting your stitches at the side, I've also counted the slip stitches, so don't forget those. Anyway, so that's how we look at the end of round 24. Okay, so now for 25, this is a standalone round, and we're going to be working on these fun flowers here, which to me, they sort of look like peacocks, and that's kind of how I got the dragon flower, dragon bird type theme going on in this. Anyway, so for this one we're doing what is shocking pink here. I'm actually going to stick with shocking pink for this one, since I had already changed these to purple. I feel like I need a little bit more pink going on in my little thingy thing. So here we go with my shocking pink. And we're going to be working in the back loop only of this round. We're going to join with a slip stitch in the third single crochet to the right of the slip stitch, which is located on the right of the center half circle. Oh, that's a whole lot of blah, 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 blah. So basically, we're finding our slip stitch, okay? So now we want to find the third single crochet that's to the right of it. So here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one. We're going to put our slip stitch right there in that third back loop. And now we're going to put 4 trebles in the front post single crochet. So now we want 4 trebles in each of the back loops around each of these front post single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to chain 2 in between each of these groups of 4 trebles. Oh my goodness. I'm just a mess today. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2 again, and we'll put another 4 trebles in the next front post single crochet. 2, 3, 4, and another chain 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we're going to put our last 4 on that last front post single crochet. Remember, it's in the back loop only. Alright, and after this last group on the last front post single crochet, we're not going to chain 2. And now we're going to pretty much do the same thing we did at the beginning. So here's our slip stitch. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's where we put the next slip stitch there. Okay? And then you can finish that off because this is a standalone round. So you're going to do that to each side. So you're going to have a slip stitch in the third single crochet to the right. There's a slip stitch in the third single crochet to the left. And then we have 4 trebles in each of the front post single crochets. And there's a chain 2 in between. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of those. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 2 spaces. Do that on each side and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're going to start round 26, and that's another standalone round. So if you look here, it's going to be the one that is the contrasting color, which is color F, perfect pink for me. That's my red heart, is perfect pink. And I'm going to go with that for this one also. I haven't introduced it yet into this sample piece. So, oh, actually I'm going to use this one. I have a scrap piece over here that I think is going to be long enough. So I'm going to use this one. So for this one, we are going to, I'm going to start on this side because I already messed up on the other one. Okay, so basically what you're going to be doing is working in the back loops only right here in between these groups. So you find the first double treble that is after the very first group. So we're not going to start in the first double treble, we're going to start in the second double treble. So it's the first one that's after a group. And we're going to start with a standing 3 treble cluster. So that's yarn over twice. Insert it into the back loop of that double treble, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over twice. And then you pull through all of your remaining loops, and that finishes that off. And then we chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to skip over this. We're working in front of these chain 2 spaces. We're going to pretend like they don't even exist, and we are going to do the same thing in the next double treble, which is found after the next 4 treble group. Oh, that's my email. Okay, and then we go to the next one. This is a fairly easy round, so it shouldn't take us too long. And it's not too hard to mess up, even though I did just mess it up once. Ha ha ha. It's a good thing about video. You can always delete the parts you messed up. Okay, so here we go. Last time I was putting them in front of them also, which is wrong. So when you're all finished, you're going to finish it off. And if you do it correctly, like I have now done, it should look like this. You're going to have 4 of these 3 treble cluster groups with 3 chain 5s in between. Okay? And if you look, that matches my piece here. I have 4 of those colors there. Alrighty, so do that to the same thing on all of your sides, and I'll see you at the end of this round. Okie doke, so I have gone through all 4 of my sides and done my little perfect pink petals in the inside. And if you want to count, you're going to have 4 of these 3 treble clusters on each side, so 4 times 4 is 16, and then you're going to have 3 chain 5s in between each. So the next round is round 27, and we're going to do another standalone round, and we're going to use our main color. So we're going to do a slip stitch in the both loops of the single crochet of round 24 that has a slip stitch from round 25 in it. This is our round 25. So pretty much you're doing it in the 3rd single crochet from that slip stitch. So just find wherever you did your slip stitch from round 25 and put a slip stitch in both loops like that. Alrighty. Now we're going to single crochet in the back loop of the next 4 trebles of round 25. So each of these gets a single crochet in the back loop. 2, 3, 4. We're going to put a treble in the skip stitch of round 25. So here's this skip stitch here. So back onto the main color, that one that's open. And we're going to work in front of everything. We're not going to make sure you don't capture anything in your treble here. And then we're going to do a front post single crochet around this cluster here. Might be a little fiddly since it's not really connected to anything on the side. So you just got to hold it in place as you do it. And then we're going to put a treble in the skip stitch of round 25. So find your next skip stitch here. No. Duh. Alright, what am I doing? So here's our front post single crochet. This is our skip stitch here, right next to the cluster. I don't know why I was trying to skip stuff, but I was. Alright, there we go. And now we're going to put a single crochet in the next 4 back loops of these. So you're going to push your chains to the back because we don't want that showing. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to keep going like we just did. So we're going to put a treble in the skip stitch here, and we're going to do a front post single crochet around this cluster and another treble in the next skip stitch here. And we're going to single crochet in the back loops of these trebles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a treble in the skip stitch here. And then a front post single crochet around this cluster. And another treble in this skip stitch. And then a single crochet in each of the 4 back loops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a treble in this skip stitch here. and front post. This one's going to be fiddly again because this is on the end and it's not connected to anything. So make sure you kind of hold it still. Front post single crochet around that, and then a treble in your skip stitch there, and then 4 single crochets in the back loops of these last 4 trebles. And then, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Yep. And then we're going to put a slip stitch in the same single crochet that already has a slip stitch in the back loop. We're going to go through both of those loops just like we did in the beginning. And then we're going to finish that off. So that's round 27, the standalone round. You're going to do that to each of your half circles. So I'll just go over it briefly again. Your slip stitch is through both loops that already has the slip stitch in it from this round here, which was round 25. You're going to put a back loop single crochet in each of your 4 trebles, and then there's going to be a treble, and then a front post single crochet, a treble, and then you have 4 more single crochets, a treble, front post single crochet, a treble, and you just keep repeating that all the way around. Okay? And I will see you at the end of that. Okay, and so I have completed all 4 of these. And at this point, I am actually going to sew in all my ends because this has just become a giant end monster and it's starting to stress me out. Once I reach the point of it stressing me out, then I weave in my ends. So I'm going to take this sucker with me and I'm going to weave those ends in. Now if you want to count. If you want to count your stitches after that round, you should have